Hello, and welcome to the Pericles Project, or maybe even welcome back.
Best of all. So, Tom Reed, I know what you did last summer.
ML Cogar, I know what you did last summer.
It was the same thing. We waited for most of the summer to try to put on some live Shakespeare, but when that didn't happen, did that stop us? No. We got together a group of hardy souls who were willing to dive into a learn-as-you-go process with us. We broke a hard-to-stage Shakespeare, Pericles, into 16 episodes, and we filmed it between rainstorms, weekends, and quarantine for the weekends of the summer.
Yeah, and in case you weren't here last week, we air 2 episodes every 2 weeks. So it's a total of 16 episodes and then 2 episodes every 2 weeks. And along with our partners Ron Scott Fry and Susan Scott Fry, we got everybody together and created this Pericles Project. So tonight you will see episodes 3 and 4.
Now, before we head to episodes 3 and 4, though, I think that it would really help me and probably some other people if we can just recap really quickly what happened in the story in episodes 1 and 2.
So when last we saw our hero Pericles, he was in the kingdom of Antioch, and he had to solve a riddle to try to win the princess as his bride. If he doesn't solve the riddle, he dies. If he solves the riddle, he supposedly gets her as a bride.
High stakes testing strikes again. Let's hear the riddle and let's see if you can solve it.
The riddle, as read by the princess. I am no viper, yet I feed on mother's flesh, which did me breed. I sought a husband, in which labor I found that kindness in a father. He's father, son, and husband mild. I mother, wife, and yet his child. How this may be, and yet in two, as you will live, resolve it you.
How indeed.
So, did you solve the riddle? Unfortunately, Pericles does solve the riddle, but he doesn't win the princess's hand, and it doesn't help to save his life.
No, as a matter of fact, he realizes that if he tells the answer to the riddle, he will be revealing the deepest, darkest secret in Antioch, which is incest in the royal house. But you probably got that too.
So he flees home to Tyre and tells Helicanus, his trusted advisor, about all that has transpired in Antioch.
And I gather our Helicanus is with us tonight. So, hello.
And Helicanus tells Pericles, you know what, you should probably keep fleeing.
Keep on running. Yeah, she tells him, as a matter of fact, that he should get on ship right away and head over the Mediterranean toward Tarsus.
And right as he's heading out, hot on his heels, hired by Antiochus, the assassin Thalyard shows up in Tyre to kill him. So, and that's where we pick this episode up, episode 3.
Oh, and before we go to episode 3, however, those of you who've been with us before know that we have signature cocktails for every episode. So the first 2 signature cocktails, alcohol and non-alcohol, although it has ice cream, for our first episode tonight, episode 3, go to noholdsbarred.org/about and take a look at what you'll find. You're going to see a recipe for Tyre trouble and the ice-cream float.
Yep, and that's noholdsbarred, bard.org/about. All right, so without further ado, why don't we kick it into episode 3? Roll it, Nick.
So this is Tyre, and this the court. And here must I kill King Pericles. And if I do not, I am sure to be hanged at home. Well, I perceive he was a wise fellow and of good discretion, that being bid to ask what he would of the king, He desired he know none of his secrets. And now I see he had good reason for it. For if a king bid a man a villain, he is bound by the indenture of his oath to be one. Shh. Here come the lords of Tyre.
You shall not need, my fellow peers of Tyre, further to question me about your king's departure. His sea-led commission left in trust to me does speak sufficiently. He is gone to travail.
How? The king gone?
If further yet you will be satisfied why he did depart, I'll give some light. Being at Antioch...
What? From Antioch?
Royal Antiochus, on what cause I know not, did take some displeasure at him. At least he judged so. And doubting lest that he had erred or sinned, puts himself unto the shipman's toil, with whom each minute threatens life or death.
Well, I perceive I shall not be hanged now. For since he's gone, the king's seas will speak. He escaped the land to perish at the sea. I'll present myself. Peace to the lords of Tyre.
Lord Thalyard from Antiochus is welcome.
From him I bring a message to princely Pericles. But since my landing, I have understood that your lord hath betook himself to unknown travels. My message must return from whence it came.
Yet ere you shall depart, this we desire. As friends to Antioch, we may feast in Tyre.
My Dionysa, shall we rest us here, and by relating tales of others' griefs, see if 'twill teach us to forget our own?
That we're to blow at fire and hope to quench it. For who digs hills because they do aspire, throws down one mountain to cast up a higher? Oh, my distressed lord, even such our griefs are. Here, they're but felt, but seen with mischief's eyes, but like to groves being topped, they higher rise.
Oh, Dionysa, who wanteth food, and will not say he wants it, or can conceal his hunger till he famish? Our tongues and sorrows do sound deep, our woes into the air. Our eyes do weep that, if heaven slumber while their creatures want, they may awake their helps to comfort them. This Tarsus, o'er which I have the government, a city on whom plenty held full hand, for riches strewed herself, even in the streets, whose towers bore heads so high, they kissed the clouds, and strangers ne'er beheld, but wondered at. All poverty was scorned, and pride so great, the name of help grew odious to repeat.
Oh, 'tis too true.
But see what heaven can do by this our change. Those pellets, who not yet 2 summers younger, must have inventions to delight the taste, would now be glad of bread and beg for it. Those mothers who, to nuzzle up their babes, thought not too curious, are ready now to eat those little darlings whom they loved. So sharp are hunger's teeth that man and wife draw lots, who first shall die to lengthen life. Here, many sink, yet those which see them fall have scarce strength left to give them burial. Is not this true?
Our cheeks and hollow eyes do witness it.
Oh! Those cities of plenty's cup and her prosperities so largely taste with their superfluous riots. Hear these tears. The misery of Tarsus may be theirs.
Where's the Lord Governor?
Here, speak out thy sorrows which thou bringst in haste, for comfort is too far for us to expect.
We hath descried upon our neighboring shore a portly sail of ships make hitherward.
I thought as much. One sorrow never comes but brings an heir, and so in ours. Some neighboring nation, taking advantage of our misery, hath stuffed these hollow vessels with their power to beat us down. The which are down already.
That's the least of fear, for by the semblance of their white flags displayed, they bring us peace and come to us as favorers, not as foes.
Thou speakst like him untutored to repeat. Who makes the fairest show means most deceit. But bring what they will and what they can. What need we fear? The ground is the lowest and we are halfway there. Go tell their general we attend him here.
I go, my lord.
Welcome is peace, if he on peace consist. If wars, we are unable to resist.
Lord Governor, for so we hear you are. We have heard your miseries as far as Tyre and seen the desolation of your streets. Nor we come to add sorrow to your tears, but to relieve them of their heavy load. And these are ships, you may happily think, are stored with corn to make your needy bread, and give life whom hunger starved hath dead.
The gods of Greece protect you!
Arise, I pray you, rise. We look not to reverence, but to love, and harbors for ourselves our ships and men.
The which, when any shall not gratify, the curse of heaven and men succeed their evil, till when the which I hope shall ne'er be seen. Your grace is welcome to our town, and us,
which will accept, and feast a while, until the stars that frown lend us a smile.
Well, there you have it, the answer to the burning question. Taliard does make it to Tyre to do the deed that he's been sent to do, to assassinate Pericles. But he's let off the hook because he overhears Helicanus tell the lords of Tyre that Pericles has gone to sea.
And Taliard just figures, well,
that's the end
being
of
the
him.
times, he's probably going to die at sea, so job done.
Right.
Let's go party with the lords of Tyre.
Yes, they go feast. Meanwhile, Pericles heads to Tarsus. When we first go to Tarsus, however, we meet Cleon the governor and his wife Dionysa, who are bemoaning the terrible tragedies that have befallen the people of Tarsus.
They're all starving.
They used to be flush with cash and they were busy spending it, but now the situation is so desperate that people are turning on one another. So enter our hero doing the kinds of things that he's more used to doing, not running, but bringing food and making friends.
He comes to save the day.
He does. So now we are setting up for episode 4.
Yes, we are. Episode 4. So,
ooh, new cocktails.
New cocktails for episode 4.
New episode, new cocktails. The first of the cocktails, the alcohol version, is called the Sea Shanty, which I gather is made with Kraken rum, so you can get Kraken on that. And the non-alcoholic version has its own version of fun. It is called the Smoothie as Sea Glass. So again, you can have the alcohol, you can have the ice cream, you can have a beverage of your choice, and tell us about it in the chat. But whatever you do, you will find a little bit of guidance at noholdsbarred.org/about.
Yep, and episode 4 is going to kick in with another Gower.
Remember from last time, we told you that because Gower is actually the second largest role in this play, and serves as a narrator who sometimes tells us what has happened, sometimes tells us what is going to happen, we thought this would be a great opportunity to involve a lot of different artists from the area. Last time we saw musician Laurel Solfate, who turned her Gower monologue into a music video. And today you'll see Anne Elizabeth Shapira,
better known as Jane the Fool,
Milwaukee's official jester, because of course Milwaukee has an official jester.
And she will be the Gower that kicks this episode off for us.
But listen closely, because she's going to tell you what happens when Pericles takes ship from Tarsus.
All right, let's roll episode 4.
Here have you seen a mighty king. His child, we know, to incest bring. A better prince and benign lord that will prove awesome both in deed and word. But tidings to the contrary are brought your eye. What needs speak I? Good Helicanus, who stayed at home, sends word of all that haps in Tyre. How Taliard came full bent with sin and hath intent to murder him, and that in Tarsus was not best longer for him to make his rest. He, doing so, put forth to seas, where when men been there's seldom ease. For now the wind be blow, thunder above and deeps below, make such unquiet that the ship should house him safe is wrecked and split.
Yet cease your ire, you angry stars of heaven. Oh, let it suffice the greatness of your power. To bereft the prince of all his fortunes, and having thrown him from your watery grave, here to have death and peace is all he'll crave.
What ho? Pilch? Hey, come and bring away the nets.
Oh, faith, friends. I am thinking of the poor men we saw cast away before us even now.
Alas, poor souls. It grieves my heart to hear what pitiful wails they made to us to rescue them when, well a day, we could scarce help ourselves.
Friends, I marvel how the fishes live in the sea.
Why, as men do a land. The great ones eat up the little ones.
How from the finny subject of the sea, these fishers tell the infirmities of men. Peace be at your labor, honest fishermen.
What a drunken knave this sea cast thee in our way.
A man whom both the waters and the wind and that vast tennis court have made the ball for them to play upon, entreats you pity him. He asks of you that never used to beg.
No, friend, cannot you beg? Here's them in our country, Greece, gets more with begging than we can do with working.
Canst thou catch any fishes then?
I never practiced it.
Nay, then thou wilt starve. Sure, for here's nothing to be got nowadays unless one can fish for it.
What I have been, I forgot to know. But what I am, want teaches me to think on. A man thronged up with cold. My veins are chill, and have no more of life than may suffice to give my tongue that heat to ask your help. Which if you shall refuse, when I am dead, for that I am a man, pray see me buried.
Die, quotha. Now, God's forbid. I have a gown here. Come, put it on. Keep thee warm. Now, afore me, a handsome fellow. Come, thou shalt go home, and we'll have flesh for holidays, fish for fasting days, and more o'er, puddings and flapjacks, and thou shalt be welcome.
I thank you, sir.
Hark you, sir. Do you know where you are?
Not well.
Why, I'll tell you. This is called Pentapolis, and our king, the good Simonides.
The good King Simonides, do you call him?
Aye, sir, and he deserves so to be called for his peaceable reign and good government.
He is a happy king, since from his subjects he gains the name of good by his government. How far is his court distant from this shore?
Marry, sir, half a day's journey. And I'll tell you, he hath a fair daughter, and tomorrow is her birthday. And there are princes and knights come from all parts of the world to joust and tourney for her love.
Were fortunes equal to my desires, I could wish to make one there.
Brother, help! Armor!
An armor, friends. Let me see it. Thanks, fortune, that yet after all my crosses, thou givest me somewhat to repair myself. Although this is mine own, part of my heritage, which my father did bequeath to me, I thank thee for it. My shipwreck now is no ill, since I have here my father's gift in his will.
What mean you, sir?
To beg of you, friends, this coat of worth, for it was a target sometime to a king. I know by this mark. He loved me dearly. And for his sake, I wish the asking of it, and that you guide me to your sovereign's court. While wearing it, I may appear as a gentleman. And if ever that my low fortune's better, I'll pay your bounties. Till then, rest your debtor.
Why, wilt thou tourney for the lady?
I'll show you the virtue I have borne in arms.
Then do you take it, and the gods give you good on it.
Aye, but hark you, my brother. I hope, if you thrive, you'll remember from whence you had it.
Believe it. I will. By your furtherance, I am clothed in steel. Then honor be but equal to my will. This day I'll rise, or else add ill to ill.
So now Pericles has found himself washed up on the shores of Pentapolis, North Africa.
That's right. And now what we find is a dejected, disheartened Pericles. His bad fortune has brought him down, and also he's disheartened by the evil ruler, the immoral Antiochus, the ineffectual ruler Cleon.
Sorry, Simon.
Good acting, bad leadership. The ineffectual governor Cleon. Pericles is now seeking a role model to show him how to be a kindly and strong leader when he goes back home to Tyre. Will he find that leader in good King Simonides?
Tune in 2 weeks to find out the answer to this question and more on the Pericles Project.
That's right. And the next contest, by the way, not to tease you too much, but it could be a dance-off.
And I would also like to remind people, if you want to give to the Pericles Project, once again, you can do so on our website, noholdsbarred, BARD.org.
We're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep making work for people and making art with people. So please come back and please help support. That said, another thing that I would like to tell you about our particular episode tonight, we mentioned Anne Elizabeth Shapira's Gower and Laurel Sulfate's Gower. In both cases, our Gowers at this point have written original music in order to create their interpretations. So we'll see all kinds of interpretations, but so far, original music abounds.
Yep.
Ooh, special thanks.
Special thanks, yes.
Special thanks to Cole Conrad.
Double C, CC
Double
Ryder.
C, our youngest fisherman in Pentapolis, because he, like everyone involved in the project, had to be willing and ready to go with the flow at the drop of a hat and all of the other cliches you can throw that mean now, don't think. We originally were scheduled to film that particular episode on location at Jackson Park in Milwaukee. Unfortunately, we were kindly invited by the authorities to vacate the premises, and some quick thinking and a phone call to Cole's very kindly parents landed us the ability to pick everything up, pack up, and move to his parents' backyard at the drop of a hat. So thank you, Cole, not only for your performance, but also for your help making sure that we could keep pushing through.
So that answers Chris's question, where was episode 4 filmed? Another question.
Cole's parents' backyard.
How many ladies will Pericles be involved with?
Ooh, that's a very good question. We have to think, what do you mean by involved?
Yeah, do you mean hubba hubba, or do you mean, hey, how you doing? Because those are two different involvements.
And Pericles is an interesting character, by the way, because I think one of the things that you'll see as he moves forward is that there's something really engaging in the way that he relates to the women in his life. Helicanus was originally not a female character, but when you have Deborah Clifton and she can play Helicanus, you do that. And it actually went right along with Pericles as a story, because as you'll see coming up, the strongest and I guess most influential people in his life are going to be the women in his life as we move on forward.
Yeah, but don't worry,
really
Sarah.
Good question.
There's going to be plenty of women in this. All the ladies in the house.
Yes, many, many. So thank you again for that question. Thanks, Cole Conrad. Ooh, I also wanted to thank Susan Scott Fry. When we relocated to the backyard, Susan was absolutely instrumental in figuring out where we could set up in order to get the shots that we needed on a hillside, pond side, in the rain, and impromptu with no warning. So really, absolutely a trooper, and I don't know what we would have done without her eye.
Thanks again for tuning in, and hopefully
2 weeks.
We'll see you in 2 weeks. Peace and love, everybody.
Mwah.